Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Court Cutting TV, Bluford's Tax Preparation, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Casa Samtonieta Indialapa, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, John Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Montzon Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live on Facebook and live on YouTube, where we take a look at headlines from our city, our state, our country. We take a look at what you bring to the table. We combine all this information and put it to good use as a community of English-speaking locals. It is Saturday all day long. It's the end of August. It is a pleasure to be with you today. We have some news, and I thought we would have enough time to do two videos. As it turns out, we only have time for one. So today, we're going to take a look inside of the new Islas Marías Ferry. Well, new to us. It's been in service for a couple of years now. And we will leave our wonderful interview with Sargento Dan for Monday. As usual, if you have any comments that are truly important, please brand them with a capital letter Q at the beginning. Oh, that is a funny comment, Susan. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. And of course, if you're watching live for the first time, it really is fun for us to give you a nice little welcome. We can do that if you add a capital letter N at the beginning of your comment. Let me set up our news so we can get started with that. And check out this photograph. This was clearly taken from the top of the new Las Juntas overpass. Jalisco Secretary of Infrastructure and Public Works, David Zamora, reported that the Puerto Vallarta overpass will be open to vehicular traffic in the last week of September. It is now at 90% complete. During a supervisory tour led by Governor Lemus, the official explained that the bridge's main structure is now complete, as are the northbound access ramps. Work is currently underway on the installation of lighting and landscaping. And I keep hearing from reports that as we get close to the completion of this very important project, traffic heading north or south has been absolutely unbearable. Just breathe deeply. It's only a few more weeks, and this will be ready to use. Yay. Moving right along, as we announced previously, Governor Pablo Lemus led the delivery of the new Las Ánimas Pier in the municipality of Cabo Corrientes, which will benefit domestic and international merchants and tourists. This is not a new pier. This is the Las Ánimas Pier, which has been once again brought up to better standards. So this is a good thing. The renovation of the pier now provides more comfortable and stable access to this point, with new paving stabs and sanitation of the area, improving the boarding and disembarking experience. And moving right along, Jalisco Secretary of Tourism Michelle Friedman accompanied Governor Lemus in these activities, and she has confirmed that Puerto Vallarta will be the beach for the 2026 World Cup, or it will be promoted as such, as it is the main sun and beach destination close to the official venues in the country. And I quote, Puerto Vallarta is the beach for the World Cup. There is no other. Among the host cities, Mexico City, Nuevo León, and Jalisco, Puerto Vallarta is the beach for the World Cup. She explained that as part of the promotional strategy, public viewings of the matches are being designed. There are going to be mass events with match broadcasts in public spaces that will be accompanied by culinary, cultural, musical, and entertainment activities. So As we've been saying all along, it's no surprise that all these improvements in Guadalajara and in Puerto Vallarta are converging into the fact that next year our state is one of the hosts for the World Cup, and Puerto Vallarta is bound to benefit tremendously from publicity and awareness. Let us take a quick look at our weather just to see what we can expect for the rest of the weekend. By the devil's tumor laden, tumor laden nutsack. It's partly cloudy. Well, not outside of my apartment. It is 29 degrees right now. Humidity is at 77%. And our weather forecast, tumor laden nutsack. That is intense. I'll have to remember that one. Um, Weather forecast today: mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon. A chance of rain of 56%, a high of 32, and a low of 25. Then tomorrow, Sunday, rain in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon. A chance of rain of 68%, a high of 31, and a low of 25. And then on Monday, rain in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 88%, a high of 31, and a low of 24. So the good news is that it's not getting much more warmer than it has been over the past few weeks, but we can certainly use more rain. Moving right along, this past Friday, that was yesterday, the first tourist ferry departed from Puerto Vallarta to the Islas Marías as part of the new project that seeks to transform the archipelago into a cultural and nature destination. So there was a departure to Islas Marías. This was a special trip organized for a sports event for sports event participants. So at 6:05 in the morning yesterday, the ferry departed from Puerto Vallarta carrying 152 tourists and 18 crew members. So, and there were two ferries, and then later at 7 a.m., the second ferry departed carrying another 159 tourists and 24 crew members. Both ferries are expected to come back to Puerto Vallarta on Sunday, tomorrow. So maybe we'll get some reports from whomever went on this particular trip. And because we told you we would, we have our walk around of the ferry. As you know, Wednesday, Logan and I went to take a look. So let's take a look together, shall we? Okay, so here I am inside of the Maritime Terminal with Logan, and we're gonna go take a look at the boat. This is so exciting. And there is the ferry, and I hope we're gonna have some people to answer questions. Wow, this is so exciting. And we did have people to answer questions. As an FYI, I'm turning the volume down on the broadcast because there was a lot of live music being played, and you know, live music means copyright, and copyright means problems for Coffee and Headlines. So we don't want to get a strike from YouTube. But do know that when we went there, as I explained, it was moving. You know, we know for a fact, and I don't mean to protect the ferry, but in the afternoons here in Banderas Bay, the ocean seems to be, or tends to be, a lot less stable or a bit more wavy. So I'm not surprised that there were early morning departures. But here we are, hopping on the ferry, and everybody was super nice. They told us where to go. Here we are. We're actually on board the ferry, and we went inside where we found that it was comfortable and air conditioned, and it has two levels. This is the lower level. We noticed that there are 3 seats per row on the sides, and then I believe it was one, two, three, four, five seats in the middle, and it was beautiful. And this is just a basic tourist class. There's an executive class upstairs that we will see um, in a minute. But in case you are wondering how um, this came about, one of the reasons why they are bringing the ferry to Puerto Vallarta is because it was launched with departures from San Blas and from Mazatlan, and they just didn't take off. I mean, there have been a few visitors, but certainly not as many visitors as the government was hoping. Part of the problem has been that San Blas is not necessarily um, easy to get to or a practical destination. So now authorities are hoping that by departing from Puerto Vallarta next year, it'll be more popular a trip. Now, we were explained a number of things in Spanish that I'm going to break down for you. There was a very nice man that told us, that answered some of the questions that I had. Now that the website has been updated, we know that you get a package that includes everything at 3 days stay. And what this very nice man explained to me is that you don't get to sleep with strangers. That sounds really odd for me to say, but when the first website was announced to tell us about the project, it was not clear in the publicity, like once you get there, how do they assign people to the different places to stay? Now, where do you stay? Well, because there isn't a jail per se, or maybe there is, but for the vast majority of prisoners, apparently they lived in houses, and these houses are of different sizes. And it was these casitas or houses that were converted into places where you get to stay. So the way it works is, let's say if you're going with a group of 5 friends, then you request a casa that fits 5 people. If you're going by yourself, this gentleman confirmed, you can get your own place. It's not like you have to share it with people that you don't even know. So this was a nice thing to clarify. Now, we know for a fact that there's a little bit more of a distance between Puerto Vallarta and the Islas than there is from the state of Nayarit. So the trip is bound to be a little bit longer. We don't know exactly how much longer it's going to be, and we don't know exactly how much the prices are going to increase, um, if at all. But last I looked at this and I went into the website, I saw that it is between 8,000 and 10,000 pesos per person to do the trip, but with all expenses paid. That means that all the food is taken care of, and once you get to the islas, there is a buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And here we are going upstairs to the executive area, where the seats are a bit wider and they looked more comfortable. I actually never thought of actually sitting on one of these seats, because I mean, if you're going to be sitting down for 5 hours or 4 hours, you want to know that you're comfortable. I totally didn't think of sitting down. But along with this executive section, there are 2 private cabins, each one holding with enough room for like 5 or 6 passengers. So if you want to go on your own, you can do that and have some privacy. We were also informed that during the trip, there are people that come and offer you beverages and food. So you are well taken care of during the journey. So this is essentially what we were able to see. And oh my God, let me not forget that we were taken into the control room as well. Let me see if there was any music going on at this point. He's explaining that the food is being brought
Tortas,
over
sándwiches,
as you're
hemos
sitting down,
vendido
just as if you
pollitos
were
de
on a
nopales
plane,
con pollo
and
Ay,
they
qué
have all
rico.
kinds of
varias
Mexican
cosas, pues le
treats
vamos
and things
variando
that you would
casi
enjoy.
para que
Qué
no se
rico.
aburran las personas que ya han venido.
Ajá.
Porque hay personas que han repetido el viaje dos, tres veces.
Nosotros tenemos mucho mitote. Lo que pasa es que salir de San Blas,
Ajá.
pues no ha sido tan conveniente. Entonces la idea de que lo hagan directamente de
I
Puerto
told him
Vallarta, yo
that
creo
we
que
have a
van a
lot
tener
of
mucho éxito.
mitote
¿Qué
to
más
do
podemos
this. And of
conocer?
course, mitote, we know that to
Por
be
supuesto.
an Aztec word that means excitement or celebration. And check this out. We are going, oh, we got a quick look at the other VIP area, which was being used as an office. So we didn't
this is
quite
another
take
cabin,
a whole look.
and this
I
is
think
a little
Logan's making
bigger.
scheduling plans.
They're
This is
using it as
bigger.
office,
1, 2, 3, 4,
this is
5,
really,
6,
really
7,
good. And
or
of course,
8 people
I
can
learned
travel
that
privately
there are
there.
people that come
I don't know why
and
one would,
serve you
but hey,
food
to
and
each their
beverages.
own.
just as if you were on a plane. And guess what? We are going to see. Ay, pase usted, señora, perdón. Pase usted.
And we're going into
We're,
the
oh my
captain's,
goodness.
the control room,
Oh,
or whatever it's
wow.
called.
No es cierto, no es cierto.
This was so much fun.
Oh, wow.
And of course, there were other visitors taking photos.
No se preocupe.
So this is what it looks like from the captain's
We
chair.
are in the cockpit of the ferry, and it's so fun to see that there are other people here. They're taking selfies and they're doing all the promotional stuff. This is so exciting. ¿Listo? Sí. Sí. Ya nos vamos. Sí, sí, sí. Ah, ¿salimos por acá? Ah, A ver.
So from that point on,
Ajá.
we took
Oh,
another
my.
exit,
Wow.
and we went downstairs, and
bajamos
we
pa' allá.
disembarked.
Muchísimas gracias.
And again, it was wobbly, but it was fun. It was fun. Again, as I mentioned yesterday or the day before, I suspect that the vessel would be a lot more stable if it's full of people and luggage and this, that, and the other. But it was moving around like a little boat, and that was not a lot of fun. But that's what we have for today. And let me put myself in chit chat mode just to see what you guys are thinking of this morning. I am just happy that it is a Saturday and I'm going to have a really fun weekend. What happened to my. There it is. Okay. So let's see. We have good mornings from many friends. Thank you very much for that. Wake and bake time. I still need a Spanish equivalent for that expression, says Susan Davidson. Wake and bake. Well, we don't have a direct translation for wake and bake, but we do have an expression that would work, which is pachequear. And pachequear, well, to be pacheco is to be high, to get high. And pachequear is to hang out and just wake and bake. So pachequear would be the expression that I would use. Let's see. So many friends. I love it. Pam 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 pam. Rod says, I bet the overpass won't be done till closer to November. Well, you know, hopefully it'll be done before the end of the year. It may be the case that it becomes drivable, but they haven't finished all the finishing touches. I'm sure they are under a lot of pressure to get it done simply because of the craziness of traffic. Let's see what else we have. More good mornings. Thank you so very much. Linda says, what a beautiful ferry. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to ride the darn thing and go to Islas Marías next year. Let's see what else. Well, that's basically it. The boat tour was great. Thank you, Paco. Well, it's not beautifully edited or anything, but it was just a quickie. Logan and I were grateful to get there before it started to rain, because that would have been really unfortunate, because I was carrying gear and this, that, and the other. But I got all excited to get on board, and I'm still excited, and I hope that they announce these trips from Puerto Vallarta. I'm going to look forward to doing that. And this brings us to the end of this broadcast. As always, I thank you for another week. And I thank you for your comments and your suggestions and your beautiful mail. And I hope you have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to mine. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Monday morning for more coffee headlines and stories. Have a great one.